It is December 13, 2025. It is time for power scanning. Once again, we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week and the weeks ahead. My name is Daniel. I will be your moderator throughout this webinar, and I am greeting you today from our beautiful headquarters here in Montreal, in Canada. It's a cold winter day. It's snowy. It's just grayish out there. A classic Montreal winter day. But before we get into it, where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have today in our room? Please put your location into our Q&A box. Who do we have today? Let's have a look. All right. So we have Lenny from New York City. Still sunny outside. All right. Good for you. But he said New York is gearing up for a snowstorm. All right, good luck with that. Ralph from Jockgrim near Karlsruhe, in the western part, at the very west, south and west part of Germany. Andrea from Hamburg. Hey, Andrea, how are you in Hamburg? Tien from Garden Grove, California. Hey, Tien, how are you? Andreas from Mainz. Yeah, Frankfurt. How are you, Andreas? How's it going over there? Brian from Tampa. Hey, Brian, nice to have you. Bob from Alexandria, Virginia. We have Greg from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Greg, how's it going? Linda from Orangeville, near Toronto, in Ontario, Canada. And we have Edda from Hamburg. Hey, Edda, good to see you again. We also have David from DE. What's DE? That's Germany, Deutschland. Snow expected. I'm not sure what you mean by DE. Delaware, maybe? I don't know. And we have Daryl from San Francisco. Awesome. Wow. Well, once again, a truly international crowd. Great, guys, for joining us today. And David says, yes, it's Delaware. So I thought it was Germany because DE sometimes is also used for Germany as the country abbreviation. And of course, we have Aubrey from sunny Cyprus. Yes, yes, always sunny in Cyprus. Thanks for tuning in, Aubrey, as well, of course. All right, so with this, let's get into it. Once again, today we will be looking out for what we call swing trades. Just so to give you an idea, a swing trade typically lasts between 1 and 20 weeks. It's not really written in stone, but that's approximately what a swing trade is. So it's not a day trade, which you would close and open and close within the same day. And it's also not really a super long-term investment, which you may hold for many years or perhaps all your life. So swing trades are really just in the middle of these two extremes. And what we're going to do today is something that everybody can do in just a few minutes because it's the 13 minutes strategy. You can do this exercise, what we're going to be doing today, after every single trading day. So not just on the weekend, but also during the week. In fact, we recommend doing this every single day after the market closes because every single day, you will be able, with just a few mouse clicks and just a few minutes, to find interesting swing trading opportunities using our Liquidity View scanner, which is designed for efficiency, which is designed to allow you to find these things as soon as in just a few clicks. Real quick, who are we? We are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. And together with Homer here in the middle, we have created Trading Indicators about 10 years ago. And about halfway throughout our journey at Trading Indicators, Niklas here on the right-hand side has joined us. And he's been instrumental behind many of our latest developments. As our name suggests, we specialize on, trading indicators. We've built thousands of those for clients all over the world, in the US, in Canada, where we're headquartered, in Germany, also Europe, really all over the world. But lately, we have also branched out and developed trading tools. And one such trading tool we will be using today, which is our Liquidity View dashboard. It's a trading scanner which will allow you to scan through thousands of symbols, more than 5,000 symbols, in seconds to find those which currently have interesting setups. And it's really like finding the needle in the haystack, the diamonds in the rough. Yeah, these are very rare setups, but if they happen and when they happen, good things may come from that. And we also believe that, technical analysis oftentimes is more telling, at least for swing trading, than fundamental analysis. So fundamentals, of course, they matter in the long run, but swing trades, they are 2 to 20 weeks. Yeah, they respond very well to technical setups. What we like about this is that technical analysis, for the most part, is much easier, especially with the right tools, than fundamental analysis. Because with fundamentals, you never really know what is already priced in and what comes as a surprise to the market. This is not the case of technical analysis. You have clear levels, you have clear trends, you have clear momentum, and you base your forecasts for the future based on these historical facts. And oftentimes, as we'll see today, when we review the trades that we picked last week, these can be very telling. And before we get into it, guys, please make this webinar your own. If you have any symbol requests or questions, please put these questions into the Q&A box, and we'll get to those as we proceed through this webinar. Just a quick reminder that trading futures, FX, stocks, and so forth does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. So with this out of the way, let's get into it. And just a few housekeeping items. What we're going to be doing today is we will use our Liquidity View dashboard, the trade scanner, which we have developed to allow you to find these interesting trade setups. It would be best if you guys would follow along live, meaning you have the scanner open also on your screen, and you can use the very same steps and setups that we are using right now in this session. I'm saying this because every week I receive some questions. Hey, Daniel, I'm trying to replicate what you had on the screen, but it doesn't work. Well, the easiest way to do it is to simply follow along live. And should you not have access to our dashboard yet, the good news is you can get instant access right now. And all you need to do is to go to this link down here. Niklas, please put this link into the chat box. It's tradingindicators.com/view. Sign up for a trial right now for the dashboard to get instant access. It takes less than a minute. You get a full week of a free trial. And if you want to stick around afterwards, we have interesting monthly and yearly options as well. And last thing before we get into it, we also recorded a very comprehensive bootcamp about our dashboard. Why am I saying this? Because what we will see today really only covers a subset of what is possible with the dashboard and the scanner. So we'll focus on one particular aspect of trading. If you are interested to see what else is possible and how this may help you in your trading, check out our bootcamp at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp, and this link will also be in the chat. And lastly, we do have a Discord channel available at tradingindicators.com/Discord. And every once in a while, we are posting interesting setups there as well, mainly for day trading, but every once in a while also for swing trading. I know David, I'm not sure if David is in the room today. He's very active in our room. Let me just quickly check if he's there. Maybe not, but he's been posting some interesting swing trading setups as well, found with our dashboard. So check it out at tradingindicators.com/Discord. And lastly, we do have an ebook available at tradingindicators.com/Power of 3, where we detail the main setups that we go through here every weekend. Now, and this link will also be put into the chat box. And finally, if you have any suggestions, maybe new symbols to be added, maybe some new features to be added, maybe some rearrangements, some quality of life improvements, don't be shy, please. Give us feedback. Either put this into the Q&A box or send us an email afterwards. And this is really what drives the future development of our dashboard. And one such feedback, for example, I'm going to show to you right away, is the rearrangement of scan columns. And let's check it out together. And then we're going to start with our market review. So switching over to our dashboard, there we go. And just to give you an example of what was requested. Because some users says, hey, Daniel, I don't really like the standard arrangement of these scan columns. You can see it here, the symbol, name, price. This is really the standard arrangement. I would like to change it. Well, we listened, and we have now added a feature which is available here via the settings gear, which allows you to reorder your columns, your scan columns. You enable it, you see these little dots next to each column, and this allows you to drag your columns to different places. This will be also saved to your account. So next time you open your dashboard, this is exactly what you will see. So this is a new feature which we have made available now. All right, so with this, let's start with our market review. Let's start with the SPY. And guys, do you remember what I said last week? Is anyone there who perhaps came last week and listened to me talk? Maybe you guys don't remember, but I explicitly mentioned, and This shows you once again the power of technical analysis. I explicitly mentioned, hey guys, this was last week here. Look where we are right now. Price is right at this resistance level. You can see it here. This was last week. Be careful of your long positions. A bounce might be coming, especially also since we had a liquidity capture event last week. So what happened? Well, price, came down a little bit and back up again, and then a big bounce once again on Friday. When I say big bounce, I mean like relatively big bounce. So we have a bit of a pullback, only a level 2 pullback, of course, nothing dramatic. But nonetheless, if you had some long exposure at this price level, you would be in the minus right now by a little bit. So this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided by potentially waiting price either for a break to the downside or for the break to actually happen. I do believe that we will see all-time highs in the SPY in the medium-term future, but entering right at resistance might not be the best idea. Now, what happened on Friday? Well, we did see this bigger bar down, and what I did actually on that day, primarily for the QQQs, I'm going to talk about these in a bit, but also for the SPY, I sold some puts when price came down in the expectation. Well, first off, puts were relatively expensive. The VIX, jumped up a little bit. Nothing dramatic, but at least made them more expensive than they were before. So I sold some puts, collected the premium, and the anticipation is, okay, price will recover to the upside. These puts will lose on value as volatility will go down and potentially prices will go up again, and I can buy them back for a lower price and profit in the process. Now, I said I did this a little bit for the SPY, but to more extent on the Qs, and I'm going to show you why. So the Qs, and just keep in mind this picture on the SPY. Look how it looks. Level 2 pullback, very near resistance. Why did I do it more on the Qs? Well, here's the reason. So let's open it up. So these are the QQQC NASDAQ 100 ETF. And a couple of things you can see right off the bat. First, we have a level 3 pullback as per Trend Radar. Not just level 2, it's a level 3 pullback. Secondly, we are definitely further away from this resistance level here. So this move is a bit deeper down. We weren't as extended as the SPY, and now we had a bit of a pullback. So I think the Qs will play catch up to the SPYs in the medium-term future. And this is why I believe the Qs actually are the better opportunity to potentially, go long, add to your long position, or potentially even sell some puts, which is what I did on Friday as well. As prices plummeted and the VIX was going up, I used the chance to benefit a little bit on this, and let's see what happens. And the beautiful thing, if you are invested in the Qs or the SPY, even if you get assigned, I think long term, there's really not much you can do wrong as long as you have the buying power to be able to buy the 100 shares for each put. If you get assigned, just hold on to it, obviously, and then eventually you will be able to sell them for a profit. So
Daniel.
that is, yes, Nicholas.
Oh, hi. Sorry to cut you off. Niels has a question here. What did you mean by medium-term future? How long is that to you?
2 to 20 weeks. Some a typical swing trade. So
Okay.
that's what we're looking for right now. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. And Christian, I also see your comment there. When will the recording be available? Probably, I would say this afternoon, my time. So maybe around 5 p.m. Montreal time, which is 11 p.m. Germany time. Yeah. All right. So for this, I do like the Qs for a long trade. I believe this is, it's just a healthy pullback. Look at what happened in the past here. These happen every once in a while, and every single time in recent history, every pullback was quickly bought up. I think this will be no exception for this. I believe the Qs will gain on value again, and then I'll probably will buy back my puts at a cheaper price and leading into the year end. At least that's my expectation from the Qs. All right, what about the Russell? Russell is also interesting. The Russell also pulled back on Friday. You can see this here in the IWM ETF, which tracks the Russell. But here the situation is yet once again a bit different, because the Russell, actually, of these three indexes, the Russell has been the strongest one in recent history. Why do I say this? Well, look what happened here. First off, the first clue right off the bat is that we did make an all-time high on, when was it? On Wednesday this week. The Russell gained an all-time high. I believe now this very important level around 245 might be behind us. We finally left it decisively. We broke above this other resistance level, which is even higher at 252. We came up and then the retracement down to this level. So this is kind of a mini zone break retrace setup, which, as you may know, can be a launch pad for another big move further up. So the Russell also looks interesting. I didn't act on the Russell as I did on the SPY and the Qs, just because historically speaking, the swings are just way higher there. Maybe it's I don't know. It's just reacting too much. I felt more protected with the SPY and the QQQs, but nonetheless, I believe the Russell is also an interesting opportunity right now with this recent pullback to this broken resistance level now acting as support. All right, so let's move on. What about gold? Yes, lots of things have happened in the market last week. Also, gold is interesting. Let's check it out. All right, so what do we see? Well, gold is at this key resistance level. You can see it here. We approached the all-time highs. We actually gapped up higher. Many people didn't see this on Friday. We only saw the bearish day on Friday. But what happened before overnight? Gold actually increased in value, moved up higher, and then we had when the cash market opened, we had this gap up to the 398 level. We came close to the all-time high, which was established back on October 20th, and now we're facing exactly at this level, and there was a liquidity capture. Now, what does this mean? Does it mean we're going to see another pullback in gold? It might. Now, it might be another pullback. I don't expect much. I expect something like perhaps a level 2, level 3 pullback. It is possible that gold might go down to maybe a 380, 370 zone while it is fighting with this key resistance level. So that's definitely possible. We saw a bit of this on Friday. Of course, then we recovered a little bit after the lows on Friday, but nonetheless, this pullback might. Of course, there's no guarantees, of course, and I would not go short gold. Definitely not, because this is a strong uptrend. I don't know. I mean, it's an amazing uptrend in gold. I would not short it. Just perhaps be a bit careful with any long positions or adding to your long position at this current price level. What about silver? So silver had a big drop yesterday. We'll see it right in a second. I think at the top of the day, we were 6% down from the open. I think we closed at around 4% down. Nonetheless, despite this big bar, and of course, we gapped up higher a little bit too. Despite this big bar down, this is 4% down. Look at trend radar. There's nothing there. It's completely green. Not even a level 1 pullback. It's still completely green. How can that be? Well, the answer is very simple to this. We were so extended, so far up that even the shortest term trend remained in its bullish position. Price didn't drop below any of our fast MAs that track the shortest term trend. Thus, trend radar stayed completely green. So this gives you an idea how shallow, even though this was a 6% down day at times yesterday, how shallow this drop was. Of course, it also helps that we gapped up higher. So, trend radar only measures basically the close price of each candle. So the close price of the previous candle was at 57, then the close price here at 56. Maybe not that much of a difference because we gapped up higher too, even though yesterday's candle was quite big. People say the reason why we pulled back was because investors, they booked some profits at current price levels in silver heading into the weekend and the year end. All right, so that's silver, also interesting. And what about oil? The United States Oil Fund, USO. So oil, again, to me, a little bit uninteresting right now because it's just the same story every single week. We are caught or stuck in this very narrow channel. You can see it here, up, down, up, down, up, down, with a slight bias towards the bearish direction. Again, this intermediate channel, if I draw some trend lines here, it is going down if you draw these lines here to some degree. So there's a bias towards the lower side, but it is within a broader region, a broader extreme between 83 up here and 60 down here. So to me, oil only really becomes interesting when we get to the extremes of this broader channel, not the in-between. It's hard to trade in there. The moves are not very big, even though we may see a bit of a bounce off the support level. I still think that yeah, I'm gonna wait. There's so many other symbols we can trade until we hit either the extreme down here or the extreme to the upper end of this sideways channel. All right, so that was oil, and one more. What about Bitcoin? BTC. What's going on with Bitcoin? So, this is my projection. I might be completely wrong, but this is my feel for it. This is why I'm being careful in Bitcoin right now. I think, but again, don't hold me to it. It's just my reasoning why I am not engaging into any long positions in Bitcoin. I do have a long position in Bitcoin from an investment point of view. I will be waiting patiently until Bitcoin moves down even further because I believe what we see right now is we have this big move, this lag down here, then a bit of a correction. This could just be a correction within this bearish correction. We may see one more leg further down towards the 73,000 level. And if this happened, then I believe I would probably add something to my Bitcoin exposure. If it doesn't happen, if Bitcoin goes up, I'm happy to because then my existing portfolio and holding is benefiting from this as well. But this, it looks to me like this. It's like kind of running out of steam a little bit. And if you look at Bitcoin, so right now it is, if you look at the live market, I think around 90,000. Yeah, exactly 90,000. So coming down a little bit since yesterday. So that might be what's playing out right now, that we're going to see this other lag further down. All right. So with this, are there any questions right now which we can answer?
Yeah, Daniel, we have one that came in from Donna before. She said she doesn't see the dots to reorder the columns. Has that been released yet?
Oh, it is. Yeah, Donna, what you need to do is to go to the settings in the top right corner here, the settings wheel, and enable reorder columns. See, right now, I don't see it either because I disabled this feature. So you can enable it. I only enable it temporarily because I don't want to see these dots all the time. They take away real estate. Once you see them, then you can change your price around. Yeah.
Thank you. And then the next one's from Lenny. He was looking at XLP, XLV, XLY. Yesterday, they all showed contrary bullish action going against a general trend. Is this where we should be looking for interesting stocks?
Oh yeah, definitely. So Lenny, if you join our lunch and learn sessions, we always do a sector analysis. So next when is it? Next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Yeah, join us there. We'll do the sector analysis and we'll guide you as to which sectors are the most interesting ones right now. And yes, it makes sense to look for stocks in sectors which also have interesting technical setups right now. And if they both coincide, the sector perhaps has a bullish setup, and the stock you're interested in also has a bullish setup, then you have confluence, as we call it, and good things may happen from there for sure.
Thank you, Daniel. Gal wants to know, are puts sold for weeks time frame?
No, I
For a
just
few
give it
weeks
a
time frame, for a few
I
weeks
give it,
time frame.
yeah, a few weeks, a month about expiration out. Why there? Because I want to give it a bit of time to recover the market, so the expiration should not be too close. Even though I don't really mind being assigned either the SPY or the QQQs, you know, the idea is that I will buy back my puts and not being assigned. This is why I used a month, give or take, as expiration. Why a month? Because longer out, then the time decay will kick in too slow. And of course, I want to benefit from the time decay of these options. And the closer you are to expiration, while not being too close to give the market no time to recover, I think that's a sweet spot, like about a month out, maybe 3 weeks out. So mine were, I think, I forget, 10 or something, or Gen 6.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, and then two last questions here.
Yeah.
Linda says her chart went completely black when she tried to enlarge it. It's probably the scaling on the axes,
Yeah.
I'd guess, Daniel.
Yeah. Linda, what you do is go to the settings here, click on reset to default settings. That will rescale everything. Yeah.
And then the next one is, do you find any value in the weekly chart?
I do, yeah, but I don't look at it too often to tell you the truth because our liquidity IQ indicator, which draws these levels, and our MA rush indicator, these are multi-time frame indicators, so they take into account the weekly data anyways, so that I don't really have that need to switch too often to the weekly. But every once in a while, if you follow our newsletter, you'll see that some of the charts that we post there for the trade of the week, they come from the weekly chart. So I do look at it, but not too often. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks,
All
Daniel.
right.
Yep, good to go.
Alrighty. So let's now have a quick review of what we picked last week. So I'm going to go to our watch list, the weekly swing trades watch list from last week, last Saturday. And these were our picks. So let's check it out. I'm going to start down here at Tanger Inc. or Tanger, whatever that might be pronounced. So here we saw an interesting, you can see a bounce set up. Price came down to the support level. And yes, exactly as we expected. So this one was one that worked out really beautifully. We bounced off the support level towards higher price levels. So for a nice gain here. So that worked quite nicely. Rheinmetall, as the English people might say. Also a nice bounce here off this support level. And actually for Rheinmetall, I would think of potentially protecting my profits right now after this move up because we are right at this intermediate former support level, which may activate as a resistance. But of course, if you have a bigger outlook on the stock, and I think it's going to go up in the interim anyways because it's a very bullish stock. It's just a consolidation phase. So, but at least be aware that here we are at this former support level. QBE.AX, QBE Insurance Group. Also here, we do see a nice bounce off the support level as we hope for. And perhaps the best trade we took is this German stock here, the Münchner Rückversicherungsgesellschaft. As you see here, what a bounce that was. That worked out beautifully. We caught it down here when it was right at support. A beautiful bounce off the support level. Now nearing resistance. And also here, I would be thinking of potentially of booking my profits. Keep in mind, we're talking about trading here. So, of course, if you're an investor, this is also not a bad stock to be invested in, for sure. But if you want to trade the stock, actively trade the stock of swing trading. Yeah, you should be aware of these intermediate resistance levels because price may bounce off from it, and you don't want to give away your profits because you want to actively trade it. All right. Moving on, Cintas. All right, Cintas also bounced moderately off support. We can see it here. We gave back a little bit of this on Friday, as most stocks did, but nonetheless, we're in good shape for this one as well. The Brambles Limited, an Australian stock. This one is unchanged, pretty much the same level as we had last week. Then we have Argon Inc. That was our trade of the week in our newsletter on Monday. And here we were off to a really good start on one. You can see it here. We came up nicely. This is where we called it. We came up nicely. Then a bit of a retracement on Friday as most stocks came down. I still like it because I believe this gap here, this down gap, is likely to get filled. And if it does, price would need to come up at least to the 348 level. All good. And the only one that didn't work out so well, just why I kept it to the last, is AEP. So here I was hoping, this is our zone break retrace setup. Here I was hoping we're going to stop at this former resistance level. After we closed that gap here, we went into our entry zone. I mean, no harm, no fall, but down maybe by 1 or 2%. It's no big deal, but I was hoping prices will stop at this level, then jump up again. Now it seems to me a little bit that we might come down all the way to this 110 level down here before we see a bit of a retracement. So this is the next level where I think price might go. If you're along this position, I would stay with it. I think this might be the stop here at 110 and then reevaluate as price come down to this level, whether we see a bounce or perhaps not. All right. So that was last week. So I think overall, very positive performance. But now, of course, we want to find swing trades for the week ahead, for the next week. Of course, what has become interesting for next week? So let's check it out. So I'm going to go once again to my slides. And first, let's go through our process. What we're going to do today is we're going to focus on one setup at a time. Based on what we see, we'll create a hot list. And at the end of this presentation, we will go once again through our hot list and pick the ones that we like the best. Sounds good? Let's do it. So I'm going to start off with my favorite setup, the one that I call all the time, the one that I trade all the time. It's just, it fits my trading personality the best. What is this setup? Well, first off, it's a trend trading setup. I like trend trades. I believe that trading with the trend oftentimes is much, much easier than trading against the trend, first of all. But of course, not every trend entry is perfect. You don't want to enter when things are extended because then pullbacks are likely. You want to enter when that pullback has happened, or perhaps when the pullback has happened and there are early signs that, hey, we may see a recovery from that pullback. But of course, the first step is we want to find these stocks which are actually trending, not stocks which are on a sideways market, stocks which are which are actually trending in one direction. So long-term bullish stocks would be a nice one to have. There's so many of them. Secondly, we want to wait for a pullback, a retracement down to lower levels because price gets cheaper down there. We have less risk on the table. Our stop loss will be nearby. So we're waiting for this pullback, and ideally, we want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. This reddish level here, if prices pull back to support a technical level, like a bullish stock, which is pulling back to a technical level, that, these are the things I like to look for when it comes for my swing trades. And not just swing trades, for any kind of trading. In fact, as you'll see, if you look at our Discord channel during the week, I posted 2 trades. Guess what these trades were? These were trades off technical levels. Yeah, a bullish trade off a support level or a bearish trade off a resistance level. That's what we're trading all the time. Okay. So how do we find these stocks? Well, let me go back to the dashboard and I'm going to go back to our overall scanner. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search for stocks. Right now we're tracking 5,826 symbols. I'm going to be looking for symbols which are actually bullish. So I'm going to go over here. In fact, let me just hide some of these columns to make it a little bit easier to see. We don't need the dividend. Oh, country sector. Okay, perfect. Maybe one more industry group too. Perfect. Now we can see everything I want to see here. Let me just disable this one here too. Perfect. Okay, so I want to find stocks which are bullish. So how do we find these stocks? Well, for this, we're going to use our trend radar indicator. Let me give you an example. Alcoa Corporation. What is the trend of the stock? Well, I can tell you just by looking at this chart right now. Of course, probably everybody could tell just by looking where price is going, but I can also see it by means of our MA Rush indicator here, which prints a bullish label as the last label on the chart. It's this one here. On October 20th, the indicator printed a bullish label. If you were to count these candles from here all the way to the last one on the chart, you would get to this number here, 38. Now, this is indicated also in the scanner here. So I want to find these stocks which are bullish. So what I can do is I can use my scan column here called MA Rush. It's named after this indicator. And I use the filter to the right of it and select bullish. And once I do, you can see it here, I'm now filtered down from 5,826 stocks down to only 3,467. And I say only, of course, that's still a huge number. Too much to go through it manually, but we're not at the end yet. Okay, so now we only have bullish stocks, and every single stock here has this green arrow pointing upwards in our list. Perfect. But of course, I don't want to blindly enter into a bullish stock. For example, would I go long Alcoa right now? Well, I can see a couple of reasons why I would not do it. I think the most, first of all, there's no sign of a pullback. A little bearish candle here, but that's not a pullback. Trend radar doesn't show us anything here. And secondly, look where we are. We are right at resistance with a liquidity capture. That's a bearish setup. Going long now, probably not the best idea. So no, we don't want Alcoa. What we want are stocks which actually pulled back to a support level, which would be all the way down here with Alcoa. How can we find these stocks? Well, for this, we're going to go over to our scanner one more time, and we will use our Liquidity IQ setup column here, and we'll select long bounce as the setup that we're interested in. And once I do this, look, we are now down to only 186 stocks. That's already somewhat of a manageable number. And then I like to do one more thing. I like to sort by trend duration. I click on this MA Rush column here, and now I'm sorted by the stocks which have been trending for the longest time. The first one that comes in is this one here, Costco, with a liquidity capture even on the last bar. Let's check it out. All right. So Costco has had a deep pullback. I can see it here. Actually, let me just put in one more column, and here I'm going to give you the reason for this 52-week high percent column. We can see that Costco currently is 17.97% off its high price in the last 52 weeks. So we did have an all-time high in the last 52 weeks. It probably was around this price level here. Now was 17.97% lower. That's a deep pullback. But I believe And if you look at this chart a little bit from a bird's eye point of view, I believe what we are in there right now, yeah, is somewhat of what we were in around this price area here. You can see our price was mainly sideways after a big move upwards, up, down, up, down, up, down before another leg further to the upside happened. I think this might be something similar right now where we're just consolidating. For a long period of time here, it took, how long was it? From April 2022 all the way, let's say, until maybe around here, October 2023. This took 1.5 years. Now here we're in how long? March until this year. So this may still take a while. But if you buy into the thesis that, hey, maybe we are at the lower end of our consolidation sideways phase, maybe a long trade right here is not the worst idea. Anticipating a bounce off this level towards higher price levels. I kind of like it. And this is why I'm going to add Costco as our first idea for next week. So I'm going to create a new watch list. There we go. I'll create and give it a name. Weekly swing trades. Colin 2025 12 13. I can't believe it's already December 13. Oh boy, time flies. It's the third advent tomorrow already. Christmas is just around the corner. And we're going to add Costco to that list. And I'll do two more things. I will go back into my watch list. Yeah, I will unshare the watch list from November 1st. So it doesn't clutter your workspace. And I will share the watch list from today. So you guys have it directly in your account as well. Perfect. So this is done. And let's go down the list. What else do we have? SNL.AX, Supply Network Limited. One of our Australian stocks. Let's check it out. What do we see here? Bullish for a long time. Yeah, we bounced off this level at some point. Let me just quickly zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I don't know much about this stock here, but I definitely can see similar picture to Costco. If you ask me, big trend move upwards, and then now consolidating in this pattern here, making a couple of lower highs. But I do believe maybe at this price level at 30.25, something around this could be. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. Maybe this would be the entry point. So I would probably wait here a little bit. In fact, now that I look at this a bit closer, until price maybe tests this level here, around this price level, to consider. Actually, let me just hide this label here real quick. Give me 1 second. There we go. Oops. This one. Perfect. So yeah, I probably would wait till prices come down a little bit further to this price level and then potentially wait for an entry. So nonetheless, it's an interesting one. We're also going to add it to our list. But here I would wait a little bit for a deeper correction. Cintas. We already know Cintas. It was on our list last week. I'm not going to re-edit this week. It's still valid. We're seeing signs of a bounce off this level. The idea is that, hey, this is the lower end of the sideways consolidation. Kind of all the same picture. Deep correction. We are 18% off our highs in Cintas. But I believe there are signs that this might be the end of the downwards move, this consolidation phase, and we may see some recovery from this moving forward. Heiko Corporation. What's going on with Heiko? Very near, very strange candles. You look at these ones here. It's like I'm going to skip this one. It's just a strange looking chart, if you ask me. Oftentimes, these ones are hard to trade because it just goes up, down, up, down, up, down. It's a very strange pattern. I wonder what that is. But yeah, it's a similar state. We are near support, but there's not much room to the upside. I think this chart pattern here for all these strange looking bars, I'm going to skip this one. Cheniere Energy. What do we have here? Let's check it out. All right. So what do we have in Cheniere? Ooh, what a move down directly to a support level. We did have a liquidity capture at this level. We had one here too after the earnings, I believe, on that day or right afterwards. I'm going to skip this one too. Oops. You know why, guys? Because here it seems to me like you want to catch a falling knife. So I here would definitely wait to see if we actually see some sort of a bounce happening, some bullish price action. Because if not, I think this might as well just break this level. This seems to be like a very decisive downwards move, lots of lower highs being made here. So I'm gonna skip this one. All right. Let's go down the list. Here we have another Australian chair, CPU.ax. Yeah. Uh, I mean, same here, but it kind of also feels like catching a falling knife, just constant down move. We lost some levels here without any hesitation. Also here, I probably would be careful to before I would enter into this long trade, just because I want to see some evidence that hey, we may actually see some bounce action to be happening. I'm gonna skip the live cattle futures and the FX symbol. Let's go to Soundhound. What's going on there? All right, Soundhound. Okay. So SoundHound, SoundHound AI, one of the AI plays that we have, independent voice artificial intelligence. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, it was much higher, of course, during this year. You can see here we lost 53% actually, off this high point here. But if you were to speculate, and I would only do this with options. If I were to speculate, and I believe option prices might be quite reasonable right now, especially with these small bars and a downward trend. If you look at call options, I think right now this might be the neighborhood. Of course, these would be options which are a bit further out, maybe I don't know, 3 months to 6 months out, and you would speculate, hey, maybe there's going to be another leg further up. If these options are fairly affordable, you can benefit from this. You have very limited risk. That would be my play here. But for us, you know, for a swing trade, just looking at the chart patterns, maybe it's not our cup of tea. But for an option speculation, which is kind of a different approach, perhaps. But this would just be speculating on fundamentals that hey, this AI player, it had its time, it corrected down. There might be another leg up coming up from a fundamental point of view. All right, so let me just go down a little bit. Let's go to Boston Scientific. Skip a couple of these foreign stocks. Let's go to Boston Scientific, a company in medical equipment, I believe also for surgeries and hospital equipment. And yeah, I like this one. Long-term bullish stock, nice retracement down to a key support level. I believe we had Boston Scientific a couple of times in our yeah review time. Let me just quickly check. When did we have it? On the 13th at 102. Yeah, September 13th. Let me just see somewhere around this price level. Yeah, I guess this one did not work out too well. But even though we did come up a bit higher afterwards, but nonetheless, well, you know what? We did see some kind of bounce before we retrace back, but now we are at this support level once again, and yeah, I kind of like it for a long bounce off this level. Once again, a stock that is consolidating, but now coming off this lower support. So I'm going to add this one to our watch list. All right. And finally, let's do one more before we move on to a different setups. The Stryker Corporation, SYK. What do we have here? Let's have a look. Yeah, similar picture here. Long-term bullish. Of course, all our stocks that we have right now are long-term bullish. Bullish since Jan 2023. Retracement to this key support level. Yeah, and also this one could be an interesting one for the next week. Yeah, anticipating, okay, this level is going to hold. We approach this level from the upside, and we might be bouncing off this level towards higher price levels. I like it too. So I'm going to add this one as well to our short list. Perfect. Any questions so far, Nicholas?
Yeah, Daniel, we have a couple. We have one comment from Donna. She's just saying to double check the name of your watch list, you might have written the year wrong.
Oh,
Thank you, Donna.
there's always a distinct possibility for this. Oh yeah, I did.
2205.
Good news is we did think about these use cases, and we do have a feature to rename our watch list. I'm going to do this right now.
Thank you. And Lenny, well, Daniel, Lenny just comments on it being hard for him to see dark reddish squares on the chart because the chart's so dark. Is it possible to change the background of the chart?
Yeah, or
Good
just go to the
color?
light mode here, Lanny. Yeah, what you can do is you go to this one. Oh, sorry, not here. In the settings, just go to light theme. You'll see it much better.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you. Okay, and then I'm just checking for any other questions. One moment. Cursor is stuck. There we go. Okay, then we just have symbol requests, and Aubrey just reminds you, I guess, or says, we looked at Soundhound end of November as an option speculation.
Oh, there would have been it's an option speculation. Oh, did we? Okay. Yes, I guess my outlook hasn't changed there. From an options point of view, it's definitely worth taking a shot if you, yeah, if you believe that, hey, this could be a player in the AI. Oh, in the AI. Of course, I should probably go to Soundhound. Where do we have it? There could be one that is of interest in the long run in the AI space. So, yeah, I guess it was here as an option speculations. So I think it did go up a little bit, but of course not the move that we probably would anticipate with option if we do an options play here. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
So now let's move on. We're going to consider one more setup, which will be our zone break retrace setup. What is this? So right now we're looking at bounce setups. But you know what? Bounce setups are nice. We're coming off support, but sometimes we actually want to look for bullish setups coming off resistance. I'm going to explain something to you, which I think is something that people maybe are confusing because I never liked uh, the term support and resistance, even though it's something that people use all the time. This is why we call it liquidity IQ actually the way it is. We like the term liquidity levels, like key technical levels, because it doesn't really matter how you call it, because uh, levels can change world anyways. It is more important to understand from which price direction or which direction price is approaching this level. Are we coming from above to the level or from below to the level? Because when we're coming from above, it might be support. If we're coming from below, it might be resistance. Same for resistance. If we're coming from above, it might be support. If we're coming from below, it might be resistance. This is what really matters, not how you actually call this level. An example is here. So let's say this hypothetical example here. So price broke this resistance level. So here it was resistance. It broke. It happens. We went above. Then we are retracing. And now we're coming from the top towards from above to that level. And guess what the role of this level is? It's support. That's the definition of support. We're coming from above to it. That's the support level. It doesn't really matter what color it has, whether it's green as resistance or red as support. If we're coming from above, it will act as support. Okay? So how can we now use this information? Well, let's go back to our scanner, and I'm going to give you an example of this. 1 second. Let me just pick up zone break retrace here. There we go. And let's look at this first symbol here. Euro EV, an FX symbol. What is happening here? From where are we coming from to this level? From above. What's the role of this level? It's support. Whenever we come from above to a technical level, this is a support level. Okay, that's what's important. It's not really the color and how it was initially labeled. It matters from where price comes to it. Look at this one here. This example. Price came to resistance from below. At this point, it was resistant. We saw a nice bounce. And of course, eventually we break it, but then we came up, down again. It was support, up, down from the top again, acted as support, up again, down from the top towards this level, it acts as support again. This is what matters, from which direction price approaches this level. Okay, so now let's see what setups we found. So I do like this long euro setup here for euro and ZD. I'm not going to add it to my watch list, but for any FX trader, if you have a longer term outlook, this could be something of interest. Next, the ABN.AS. That's a bank in the Netherlands. I like it for the most part. Why? Well, first off, once again, you can see we are approaching this level here from where? From the top, meaning it's acting as support. We are also in a very bullish trend. You can see it here. Price has been going up for quite some time. We're now at support. The only thing which I don't like too much about this one here is this gap here. This gap, to me at least, screams to get filled and tested. If so, price would go all the way down, at least to this price level here. So at least be careful. I'm going to add it anyways to our list, but this is a bit of a concern. But nonetheless, Maybe scale into a position here. Just be aware that we may come down a little bit, but it's an interesting bullish stock to look at least. So I'm going to add this one to our list. Okay. And then we have ARQT, Arcutis Biotherapeutics. Okay. Another big gap here. All right, what do we see here? Level 2 pullback on trend radar. Definitely, we are bullish. Big parabolic move to the upside. This gap has not been closed yet, but it's the same idea here. We broke resistance, we came up, and now we're retesting this level here from the top, which will be acting as support also here. I can imagine that, hey, price may come down to this level and we may see another leg further up. So I'm going to add this one as well to our watch list. I hope, guys, you can see how easy it is to find these setups simply by going through our scanner. Maybe one more here, the Alco or Alico Inc. This one I will not take, or too far away. But yeah, but you can see, you get your short list of symbols. In this case, only 17 symbols, and then you just do a manual judgment call. Like on this one here, say, nah, we're too far away. I'm not interested right now. And you can do this every single trading day after the market closes. You go through your scan list, you pick the best candidate that you like, and then later on, you create a short list of what you see, and you go through your short list, like what I do right now here. This one here, that's my short list, and I'll pick the best ones in that short list. Okay, perfect. So let's go through this list. So what do we have? Let's see if we find the best one, which I like the best. So what about Costco? Costco was a bounce setup. Yeah, I like Costco, but I just want you to be aware that hey, this may require some patience to play out. We are in this long-term corrective phase. It may require some patience for a bounce to happen. Nonetheless, I do believe if you have that patience, if you are able to hold on to this investment for a while so you can see this bounce to happening, this could be an interesting one. So I'm going to add a new trade note for this. And by the way, guys, what we do here, you can see it here, is we now have features to edit your trade notes retroactively. So the idea is you can create a comprehensive and clean trading journal. This is why we have this edit functionality here. You can even delete some trade notes. Click on edit here. You can make some comments to it and so forth. And soon, we will have a feature to share my trade notes with you guys. It's going to come probably in the new year. We'll still refining it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new trade note of today's timestamp, and we'll add Costco to it. Perfect. Done. All right. Save. Okay. That's done. I close it. All right. Next one. The Supply Network Limited. Yeah, I like it. If we come down to this price level, absolutely. So this could be a good entry zone here. I wouldn't enter right now, but there's a good chance that prices will come down. This could be an interesting long trade here as well. So I'm going to add also my trade note here. It's an interesting one. All right. Save it, and I will close it. Boston Scientific. All right. What's going on here? Yeah, so we are in this, deeper corrective phase here. My concern a little bit is that, this level down here might be the end of the line, the 85 level. So if you were to trade Boston Scientific, I would give this trade room until here. I'll get out at maybe at around 84. I would get out of it. If you break this, I think this is gonna go too far down. That's my anticipation. So maybe let me just draw here. This would be maybe my end of the line where I definitely would get out of it. But nonetheless, maybe think about scaling into a position around these price levels into a long exposure of Boston Scientific. So I'm going to add this one also to our, so add this trade note as well. There we go. The cool thing about the trade notes is that it will keep all your annotations on it. We'll save it. With this snapshot basically of today, with all the annotations of today will be saved. It doesn't matter what you do with the chart later on. Even if I remove, let's say, I remove this line here, subsequently, if I go back to my trade notes, it's still there because this is an image being saved. It'll be there forever. All right. The Striker Corporation. What do we have here? Yeah, interesting one too. It's a very bouncy stock, but it seems to me also this one here is due for another bounce to the upside. You can see it's very, very bouncy, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're at the lower extreme. Yeah, I like it too. Let's add this one to our list. All right. Striker Corp. Let's go. There we go. It just takes a second to do. And then we have two more. We have the ABN AMRO Bank with a long break retrace setup. I don't like the gap here. I think this gap may be tested. So I'm going to skip this one just because of this gap. I think this one here, the ARQT for zone break retrace, is the nicer one to trade. There's also a small gap here, but I think this is the cleaner setup. So I'm going to take this one instead for our zone break retrace setup. Perfect. All right. Excellent. And one more thing I wanted to check, Aubrey, what happened to CCG? I haven't checked on it in a while. This is our Cameco trade that we picked a while ago. I think it was also our trade of the day. We said rinse and repeat. Let me just quickly see what's happening here in Cameco. Oh, I think this is it when we said it here. Rinse and repeat. Look at this. We made highs on Thursday.
Yeah, we
Yesterday, of
called it
course, it's
2 weeks
down.
ago on Monday.
Yeah,
On a
we
Monday,
did,
2 weeks
huh?
ago.
Yeah, that's a nice trade. Okay, cool. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. So now I think we do have a nice list. Let's look at some questions.
Yeah, so we just have simple requests so far, Daniel, or actually we're going to start with those, I suppose. Okay, so the first one is URGN from Arthur.
UNGN? Or
URGN.
okay, there we go. The Urogen Pharma Limited. Let's check it out. So I'm gonna. Oh, it's a long break retrace setup. Let's check it out. Okay, bullish for 100 trading days. A bit of a pullback right now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's have a quick look here. Where are we coming in from? It's only 100 days of bullishness in this stock so far. Let's quickly see what happened in the past here. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. I don't like the fact that how fast we're coming down here. It's like, once again, catching a falling knife kind of thing. It's just a bit too fast for my taste. Will this level hold with this when we have this kind of momentum? Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit hard to like stop like a hasting train, a freight train. That's my only concern. But overall, yeah, if you want to take a speculation, I bet you calls, if this is optionable, would be reasonably cheap right now after this downwards move. Perhaps, yeah, give it a try.
Great. The next symbol is SMR.
SMR. New scale, yes. What did we see about new scale the other day? Oh, yeah. We did have it on our purview. What did we say here? I forget. It was definitely a part of our, yeah, 35. Or 35. Oh my goodness. Well, that was back in September. Yeah. I mean, it is yeah, these micronuclear reactors. I guess they were hyped at some point. This is why things jumped up so much. Now, of course, there's a bigger correction here. Uh, Next technical level is around 11. So it looks to me almost at this level now will be approached by price. So I would wait. It's still bullish, nonetheless. Of course, we did lose a lot, but let's see where this goes. Of course, for new technologies like this, it may take some time to see who is the big player in that new market. But yeah, it looks a bit more concerning right now.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, and the next one is BA.
Yeah. BA. Alrighty. So if you don't see it right away, BA, you have to because it's a common two word two character combination. Just simply sort by your symbols and then go to BA this way, and we have it right there. Boeing. All right. Okay, so okay, bullish for 139 trading days, but approaching resistance right here. Yeah, looks like Boeing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this gap here. I don't know what happened. There might have been some news coming in. Not sure. This is an up gap. It's not closed yet. We're approaching kind of this level from the downside, which might be acting as resistance. I'd be a bit careful. I'll tell you the truth. There might be another leg coming down to close this gap or to test this gap at least.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, and the next one's going to be from Olga, RKLB.
RKLB.
Yeah.
Rocket Lab. Yes. In a magnet zone, meaning in between support and resistance. Oh, it's coming up. Yeah. A nice move upwards. The last couple of weeks. Yeah. I mean, it looks to me that we established a bottom here in this correction at around 39 or 38, because I've been going up now. And of course, now the next real test will be this resistance level here at 74. I know we're still quite a bit away from there. How many percent is this? Yeah, 18%. I mean, this is a big volatile symbol. Yeah, I mean, if you believe this is from a fundamental point of view, this is a promising stock, and yeah, by all means, look at some long exposure. From a technical point of view, I know we're closing in on resistance here, which might be a bit of a concern. Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, and the next one is FNMA. I don't know if that's
FM as Martha.
FN as in Nicholas.
Ah,
First thing I thought of, and then MA, like
yeah, of
mother, and
course.
then A.
Yeah. The
Oh, okay,
Federal
Fannie
National
Mae.
Mock. Oh, that's Fannie Mae. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Okay, bullish for 509 trading days. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just like a faithful old dog, huh? It's grinding higher, like step by step by step. Now a bit of a retracement. I kind of like it. It's in a stable uptrend. Now a bit of a level 4 retracement here. Yeah, this level just went out of scope at this former resistance level. Doesn't mean it's completely gone, so just be aware of this. But yeah, I kind of like it for a long exposure. Maybe wait for a bit more if it happens of a pullback, maybe towards this price level C, and then look for some long exposure in the anticipation. Hey, we've been making higher highs for a long time in Fannie Mae. Yeah, here, 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 here. There will be another higher high coming in the future. Mhm.
The next one is going to be MNMD. MNMD.
MNND? No, don't
M
have it.
N oh so M like mother, N like night, and
Nicholas?
then
Yeah.
M like mother again. It starts with MNMD.
Mind medicine. Okay. Do we have MNMD? Mind. No, we don't have it. That's a good stock. Let me just check it out a little bit that we could add, of course, to our dashboard. The mind medicine. What's going on here? Alrighty. Okay. What do we see here? All right, so bullish trend here, zone break here, retrace to the broken zone now. At this intermediate resistance level here, we approach it from the upside. Yeah, I kind of like it for a long trade, to tell you the truth. Um, Especially if you can hold this level here, we can stay above it. This could be another leg further up. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Thank you, Daniel.
Uh,
Okay, and then the next one. Did you already look at Costco, Daniel? Or
yeah,
cost?
we looked
Did
at Costco. I mean, Costco
okay.
was on our list, and
Oh, okay. So I
in some ways,
misunderstood. So the next symbol then is
how would I trade Costco though? I think that was the question. I mean, I probably would. Yeah, maybe ease. I would scale into a small position. I mean, if you anticipate, so first of all, I believe this consolidation will take some time to resolve. So if you wanted to take a shot, yeah, maybe with a very small position size just to see how price react to it. Um, there might be some back and forth coming here, but yeah, it's I I guess options will probably be maybe too expensive here given the stock price. Yeah, maybe with a small position size here to see if we get a bit of a bounce and then, keep trading that way.
thank you, Daniel. The next one then will be oh I missed, sorry, Daryl. NVDA, NVIDIA.
Yeah. Nvidia. Okay, what's going on here? Well, 17% off our highs. Okay, we made 102% since the lows of the last 52 weeks. Oh, I like it. That looks pretty good. Look at this. Yeah, right. Oh, right below here. Yeah, of course, everything went down on Friday, but we're still in the vicinity of this. Let me just see one thing right here. Yeah, it's in the vicinity of the support level. I like it for long. Yeah, that looks like a nice pullback here to the support level. Let's see how the market opens on Monday. But if you see any sign of a bullish candle or bullish opening on Monday, this could be an interesting one. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Daniel. And then Anonymous wants to know, did UPS break resistance or is that a liquidity capture? What's the chart telling them?
UPS, let's have a look. Very bearish. Break resistance. Yeah, but still in that area. We did have a liquidity capture here, then kind of a doji-ish candle here. I mean, I personally, if anything, I'd go short right now. We're still at this resistance level. Maybe buying some puts. I mean, it's a very bearish stock. So definitely no long exposure here. If you want to speculate, you know what? we never do any we never do any short trades. Let's just take this one as one example of a short exposure. Let me just put a little reminder for myself here with a little arrow. Hey, this is gonna be a short idea. And we're gonna add UPS as well to our list. Let's do it. Why not? Okay, cool. And I'm gonna quickly, 1 second, add the straight note to it. Yeah, maybe some puts. This could be actually if you were to speculate, I personally just like to don't like to short stocks outright. I use options for that. Yeah, but buying some puts here could be a good idea. I would definitely not sell calls, but perhaps if puts are affordable, that could be the way to go.
Thank you, Dan. Are you looking for the next symbol now? CGC is a request.
CGC, CJ or G, like a gray.
Yep,
Canopy
that's it.
Growth Corporation. That's a very cheap one at 170. Ooh, what a big move.
Oh,
Oh,
I
look at
remember
this.
this being like, I remember trading this when it was like $70 a share. So things have really changed in
Oh,
seven
yeah.
years. Yeah, like back, maybe they did a stock. No, I think it was actually $70 a share.
Jesus. Look at, yeah, I don't know. Ah, not my cup of tea. Even for sure, I think the price is just too small right now. Even with that move up to I'm not even sure if this is optionable at all. Yeah, I personally would stay away from it. But if anything, then just to the short side of this resistance level.
Cool. Okay. And then the next one would be CLS from Elizabeth.
CLS. Okay. Celista Inc. Short bounce also at. Why is this a short bounce? Nicholas, take a note of this one too. This is there's something not right with this call out here. I have to double check that. Yeah, but oh, short bound. No, I see what it is. Okay, this just came a bit too late. Yeah, we're coming off this resistance level. As well, yeah, this looks kind of interesting now. What came off resistance? Now we had a bit of a pullback, a level 3 pullback, and no other technical level nearby. And this is something similar I mentioned about gold the other day. Did I say it? Or was it in my prior webinar with my German audience? If there's no other technical level nearby, let's see, the next one would be down here at 144, way too far away. You can use that first ME rush line as your dynamic technical level. You can see it here or here in the past. And gold has happened many times before. So yeah, if this actually I like this one too. If we come down a little bit closer, perhaps to this level here. Maybe this first MA rush line. Maybe this could be a good long trade. I kind of like it. Yeah, good call.
Thank you. Okay. And then the next one here, Daniel, we're going to take, have we looked at Amazon today?
No, Amazon. What's going on there? Magnet zone. Okay, still bullish. Let's see what's going on. Probably also went down on Friday. Yeah, yeah. In between support and resistance. I like it. I think I bought some. When did I buy my Amazon shares? I mean, I think when it was down either here or here. I forget when it was. And yeah, I think it's a Max 7 stock. Which I believe long term you can't really do much wrong with it. Even but right now at this price level, I probably would wait until we see a bit of a pullback, maybe to this technical levels here. Right now we're on this magnet zone in between support and resistance. Perhaps I'll stay on the sidelines for this one, waiting for it to pull back a bit further down.
Thank you, Daniel. And is there any way to scan Indian stocks called, I guess,
Nifty.
Reliance? Is this a symbol request, Aniket?
Oh, we have Reliance, I believe here. This one, yeah, Reliance Industry.
There we go.
We have it there. There we go. Yeah, right ahead resistance. Yeah, I would also wait here until we clear this level. It may take a while, especially since this seems to be a key level, long-term level here. I'll be careful a bit to jump in now. There might be some back and forth going on. We saw this with the Russell in the last couple of weeks and months. So wait until this is completely clear, and then I think maybe a long trade could be of interest.
Cool. Daniel, do
And
you
one
want to do
more.
a couple more?
Yeah, just maybe two more.
Okay, so the next one would be Tilray, T-L-R-Y. Oh,
Uh,
sure,
I'm just
AGNC.
gonna do AGNC first. Aubrey is saying good yield for this one. Yeah, but right at this the resistance cluster, I personally would be careful with this one. As a level 3 pullback, but there's one, two, three levels of resistance on top. It would not be my cup of tea just because of how much resistance there is on top. Um, I would, if I were to get into it, I would wait for a deeper pullback and then maybe just oh, this is a very low, slow moving thing too. Even from here to here, it's only well, it's 5%. Okay, not bad. Yeah, nonetheless, I would be a little bit careful of this Aubrey if it was me. So now let's do TLRY, Tilray brands. Oof, I see this 1,081 trading days bearish. Oh boy. Big recovery here, but then a move further down. Yeah. I mean, coming up to the support level acting as resistance because we approach it from below. As a gap to be filled, yeah. Could be an interesting one for once again for puts because we want to fill this gap here. We have to come down for this, and we are approaching resistance here, which may also move another further down. Yeah, if anything, it would be a bearish trade for me for Tilray. MU we had Elizabeth and Kevin saying TLY is a major legal pot stock. Oh, Tilray, you mean this one? I'm just is it that one? Yeah, pot. That's right. Thanks, Kevin. Perfect. Okay, that's the two last ones, LNTH, and then we do SG, and then I will yeah, close it off. Oh, which ones were these, Nicholas? I talked too much. LNTH.
Sorry, yeah, LNTH. Lanthier, is that what that is?
LNTH. Yeah, bearish is a little bit of a pullback right now. Gap to be closed here. Yeah. Where are we coming from? Just have a quick look. Ah, it's kind of all over the place. A bit of a bottom building here, but we're bearish. I would stay away from it. It's just too bouncy. And then we have SG. Let's have a look. SG. Okay. If I have it, do we have SG? 1 second. SG, no, maybe. No, I don't see it. Okay, let's see what that is. SG. Sweet Green Ink. Oh, another of these super bearish stocks. Um, yeah, I mean, once again, I would go for a bearish play. We're approaching the zone of control and a broken support level. So yeah, if you're coming up to this level here, maybe 850, we look for a short play if the stock is even optionable. If not, I would stay away from it. All right. Okay, great. And one football stock, Fubo. Okay, just because I'm a big football fan. Let's see what Fubo is doing. Long bounce and bullish for 237 trading days. Ah, they just IP. Ooh, what happened here? Boy. Yeah, a bit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but these are the stocks I personally would not trade. It's just too much speculation. I'm not sure if this is optionable. If anything, only with options. We're coming up to support here. It says bullish just because of this big move, but overall it's like a sideways move. Ah, I mean, if it's optional, maybe give it a shot with some calls, but otherwise I would stay away. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for our review. Kimmy is wondering any plans to incorporate shorter time frames. We do have them if you go to the live mode. You can look at stocks from
Oh,
shorter
just
time
for
frames here.
context though, Daniel, I had answered Keem. He wanted to know if you could scan futures here, and I just let him know that the scanning really is for the daily time frame.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. The scanner operates on the daily time frame. And there's two reasons for this. First of all, we cannot offer real-time or intraday data for our symbols as for the same way we're offering the dashboard right now on a subscription basis, because then we would have to evaluate your status as professional trader or not, and what your jurisdiction is, and so forth. Makes it complicated. And secondly, right now we're tracking 5,800 stocks. Even right now, it takes our cloud server, which is hosted with the Microsoft Cloud. This is the GitHub server, about 2 hours, maybe 1.5 hours, to do all these calculations. So imagine for intraday, it would just not be possible. So this is why we're going to stick with the swing trading scanning. All right, perfect. So with this, I'm gonna quickly go back to my slides and remind you that if you don't have access to our great dashboard yet, try it out. I'm sure you like it at tradingindicators.com/view. It's completely free for 1 week, no strings attached, no contract. And of course, if you like to stick around, then there are monthly and yearly options for that one as well. And if there were any questions which were left out, you can always approach us at our homepage or with our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to support, then contact, put your question into the contact form, and I will answer every question personally. It may just take a couple of yeah, a little while because I have a bit of a backlog. It's been a very busy week with some tax return duties and a couple of webinars. So a lot of stuff happened. So I have to play catch up a little bit, but I will get to your questions if you can be patient for a day or two. With this, guys, have a great weekend. Stay warm, at least if you're from the northern part of the world right now. Because if you live in Cyprus, maybe that's not so much of a concern. And I hope you, yeah, enjoy your time on the weekend and talk to you soon. Bye, guys.